Bum 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 bum. The Peter Shitshow. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Shitshow. Bum 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 bum. So I had a client at the tutoring center where I work, and he had mentioned that he hates coming here, but then he quickly corrected himself. He loves the tutoring. He loves working with me. He just doesn't like how it consumes his Friday afternoon. I think he came on a Friday afternoon, and he said he's an eighth grader. He said he has a 2 hour lesson from 3 to 5. He told me if he could come at 3 o'clock, have the 2 hours of tutoring, and when he leaves the office, it's still 3 o'clock. He would be perfectly okay with that. And it got us thinking, what if one day relativity travel were possible? And he was a little bit mistaken, though. He said maybe we should put our tutoring center on this platform and have it spin at the speed of light. But actually, that would do the opposite of what he wants. He needs the rest of the world to spin at the speed of light, the station of the tutoring center to be stationary. He could board it, have the whole world spin at the speed of light. Then he could get his wish. But he was a little mistaken. He would actually get the opposite of his wish if that tutoring center were spinning. But it got us thinking, what if tomorrow you were going to board a spaceship that would travel 5,000 years into the future? What would you do before making that trip, right? Obviously, who would you bring into the spaceship with you? Who would you leave outside of the spaceship? What would you leave behind? And what would you invest your money in before you made that trip to make sure that 5,000 years from now you could have a relatively well-off life, right? Now, the obvious solution is to set up some kind of algorithmic investment, right? That could do some machine learning as the years went by. In 5,000 years, you could own the world if you did that, probably, assuming that there's no societal breakdown, which is probably a big assumption, right? Now, what if you could not do any trading? You had to buy whatever it is today and let it sit 5,000 years. What portfolio would you think about? I would probably buy a good amount of every element on the periodic table, but that's me. I'll let you leave a comment, but this is just a thought experiment, right? What if you only had 100 years versus 5,000 years? How might your investments be different? What if you had 65 million years and you were waiting around for other intelligent life to come around, right? What would you invest in to make sure that they recognize your wealth? Anyways, I'll let you leave a comment. This is the Peter Shitshow. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Shitshow. Bum 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 bum.